Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Christine, and if you are new here today, I thank you so much for joining me. Today am going to be remaking over some dining room chairs, and this is actually the finished product. I could not be more happy with how they turned out, but they were a beast. I'll take you through all the steps, the paint, the sanding, the reupholstery. I'll show you a picture of my inspiration, and I think they turned out really similar. So I'm quite pleased. And I also included some calming ASMR scenery. I just think that releases all those good endorphins for your day. So I hope you enjoy that. And let's get started. Okay, you can see here I've got two little inspectors with me here today. But these chairs are in really tough shape fabric-wise. You can see they're extremely soiled and old. I envision that they were used for a lot of fun family gatherings, and now they just need a new life. The frame itself is extremely sturdy, so I've got a great base to work with. And the lady that I purchased them from wanted to reupholster them, and you can see by this chair here that she attempted on this chair and said they were just too difficult, which did scare me off quite a bit, but I figured I was up for the challenge, and I paid her $100 for 8 chairs. I need to reupholster the seat bottom. The seat back needs fabric on the front and the back. They need to be painted. Basically, they just need a lot of work. So let's see if we can remake them into something beautiful. I did wipe them off before I brought them in the house, but they need a good deep cleaning. But let's start out by taking the seat bottom off and the seat back off. And I encourage you to, just from experience, I've learned the hard way to keep a cup nearby so that you can put all these screws inside a cup and you have them ready when you put these back together. The seat backs also had some screws on the bottom that were kind of difficult to get to, so I just took a smaller screwdriver, took those out, and then just gently tapped the back of the chair and it popped right out. You can see here that it's got 2 dowels in the top that fit right up inside of the top of the chair, and then screws here on the bottom for a really sturdy, firm fit. Okay, now it's time to disassemble these cushions, and there are grommets everywhere. They are all 4 sides of the seat bottom and all 4 sides of the seat back, but it's on both sides. So there's a lot of them. I used this tiny screwdriver to get up underneath them, and then a pair of pliers for the ones that were difficult to pull out. Thank goodness I have some good kids who wanted to help out, because this would have taken me days. You can see I've got thus far how many of them have come off of just one chair. Now I'm just removing these staples from the bottom cushion, and thankfully there's not a lot of them. Usually on the bottom cushion there isn't. On the seat back there was a ton, but I'm still using this small screwdriver just to wedge underneath each one of them and pry them up. And for the difficult ones, I just pull them out with the pliers. Obviously, I'll be throwing this fabric away, but I'll keep the base. And as I'm taking this foam off, I can see it's not in too bad a shape. So I think I'll keep it and reuse it, but I'll be adding an additional piece of foam just so that the chairs are a lot thicker. These seat backs are finally free of grommets. In this cup, I probably have 4 or 5 chairs, I would think. I definitely fill it all the way to the top and then even another cup if you can believe it. But all of these staples now need to come off from the front and the back. So there's a lot of staples. I just continue with my small screwdriver to pry each one of them up and take them out one by one. I've decided this video is more about the before and after of these chairs. If you're interested in the upholstery part of it, please comment below and I can slow these down and actually show you the detailed process on how to reupholster the chairs. I also visited this beautiful fabric store downtown owned by this cute little mom and pop, and I videoed there as well. It's not a craft store at all. They just had beautiful upholstery, and I'll definitely be visiting there again soon, but I've got some footage in their store that I can upload. So please comment below and let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I can make another video for the upholstery part alone. I've also decided to keep this foam from the chairs as it's in good condition as well, but I'll be adding a batting on top of it to make them a little bit thicker as well, but I'll be throwing the rest of all of this away. Now I need to clean these chairs really well and just remove any excess grease and grime and whatever protective coating they had. I'm using a product that I purchased from a football fundraiser, and I apologize, I can't remember the name, but it's an excellent degreaser and it works really well. I'm sure you can just purchase something at your local hardware store. I've heard of Gunk Be Gone, TSP, there's a few different ones out there, but it's very important to clean your surface really well before painting because it will make a difference on the finish. These chairs are cleaned and ready to go. I wish I could say the same for this fabric right here. I obviously still have a lot of work left to do, but I found this inspiration picture and I love the chairs in this picture. They look so elegant with that plush baby blue velvet and painted white. They have the same frame as mine do, the square back with the fabric on both sides. So I need to get started painting. I'm using Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, and I use this one a lot because it's just a bright, clean white. And then this round chalk paintbrush, which is perfect for this piece because there's not a lot of surface space to paint. So it'll get into all those nooks and crannies and allow for a really smooth finish. I usually do 2 coats of chalk paint, but in this case, since I was starting with such a dark base, I ended up doing 3. But I did allow an hour in between each coat to make sure that it was nice and dry. And in the meantime, I would just put my paintbrush in a Ziploc bag so that it would stay moist. You can see that it's late by the lighting, it's dark outside, and I want to get this final coat on. I use a water spray bottle for the final coat just because it thins the paint out a little bit more and allows for a smoother finish. I'm finishing these off with a good clear coat of wax. I want to make sure these have really good protection. I've decided to do a dining room makeover in my own home, so hopefully you'll come back and join me for that video. But I want to make sure they have a good coating finish so that we can put them to good use, hopefully building some memories with friends and family, dinners and game nights. It's finally time for fabric, but before I can get started, this backing has a really snug fit, and the new fabric that I purchased is a lot thicker. I didn't think about it, so now I have to sand down each of the sides so that when I attach the new fabric, it will still fit inside. As I mentioned, I found this awesome upholstery store, and I went there and had them cut 8 thick pieces of foam for the seat bottoms, and then 16 pieces of batting for the seat backs, 1 for the front, 1 for the back. I'm still going to use the old foam, but I'm going to combine the 2 together and it will just feel a little bit more plush and a little softer. And then I found this fabric and absolutely fell in love. They had so many choices there, but this crushed blue velvet is almost identical to my inspiration picture. And then this pattern will just allow a little bit of visual interest on the chair. Do you see how full this original cup is? This is 6 chairs. I've got 2 to go, and I cannot believe how many grommets there are. Here's some small scenery from a recent trip we took to the lake that I thought you might enjoy. So for the chair back, I start with a piece of foam and then put the batting on top of that. And for my fabric that has a pattern on it, I just want to measure to the center of the chair on both the top and the bottom. And this just allows for me to keep that pattern right in the middle of the chair. So after I measure it, I put a staple right in the center on the top and then the same on the bottom. And when I made a mistake, I would just unpick my staple, remeasure, line up the fabric again, and start over. I've always found that working from the center outwards is the best because I can pull the fabric really tight with one hand and then smooth out any wrinkles with the other. And there again, if I made any mistakes or I saw any wrinkles, I could just unpick the staple and start over. I also use a hammer because this is not a professional staple gun. So a hammer just allows me to get those staples in a lot tighter. Like I said, perhaps I should upload another video on how I reupholstered these chairs, slow everything down, and go into a lot more detail on how to get a smooth finish on your fabric and how to fold the corners. I am no expert, but I've done a lot of chairs and I know I've made a ton of mistakes along the way, so maybe I can go into a little bit more detail. But for the basics, the other side, again, I just put the foam down, added the batting, and then I used an old piece of fabric for my template. I cut the new fabric just a little bit bigger because I've added the batting, so I need a little bit more fabric. And for these particular chairs, I need to use a lot of staples so that there's a tight, snug finish, because I'll be cutting the fabric very, very close to the staples themselves, and I don't want it to fray or to start to split at all. I love these chairs because in the past I've always had to do the double piping to hide the frayed edges. But with these chairs, there's a little channel that the fabric sits in. And so as long as I can cut the fabric tight to the staples, you don't even see any of the edges at all. And maybe I'll save the bottom cushion for a new upload, so I'm not making this video any longer. So let's just get to the final results. I am so happy with how these turned out. I feel like they're so beautiful, so elegant, and they're so similar to the inspiration picture that I found. I'm just so excited to use them. Chairs are a lot of work, and these took me many, many days, but I could not be more happy, and I feel like it was well worth the time. I did buy a new dining table because these chairs are a little bit wider than a normal dining chair, and so I had to get a larger dining table in order for these to fit around it, which will be fun because I get to remake the dining table, and I'll upload that video soon. And then ultimately I am doing a makeover on my dining room, and I truly hope that you guys will come back and join me for that. I hope that this project has inspired you to recreate something new in your own home and tackle a fun new project. Please subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff, so that hopefully you'll join me back here in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a perfect day, and I hope to see you here real soon.